I might give up on the Red Sox. Just saying. I might become a Yankees fan.
Can't believe you're a Yankees fan now.
Hey, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
We are working class nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right, we are Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, September 7th, 2023, and you can find this start of the NFL season 214 podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and anywhere you can find a podcast in the galaxy far, far away.
You can also find every single Working Class Nerds episode on YouTube. Just search for the Working Class Nerds podcast or go to youtube.com/@workingclassnerds. Click on playlists, click on Working Class Nerds, and boom! Every episode past and present right at your fingertips.
And you can watch me play video games at kick.com/MarcusB814 Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You can watch A-Tracks, and I think he's coming back to the show, Friday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/A_A-Tracks.
And you can watch me play video games on select Monday nights at twitch.tv/NickVern51.
When TK427 allows it.
Oh my God.
You can find us on all the social medias. I am at MarcusB814.
And I'm at Nick Vern. That's NICKVR. And in this week's episode, we are joined by a huge friend of the show, a friend in real life, I would say, the overseer of the nerds community. That's right. We're talking about the Wayfinder Wikipedia wizard himself. It's Rhaiu. Welcome back to the show, Rhaiu. And what have you been up to?
It's glad to be back. Wayfinder, in a nutshell. Let's see. The game's been out for, I want to say 3 weeks. I've logged over 120 hours in the game, and have actually started contributing to the one of the official Wayfinder Wikipedia pages, and actually got to meet the guy who created the entire website for the Wikipedia page. And he's a really cool guy, very chill. And he oversees every single edit that goes into it. So he makes sure it's accurate and everything like that. And there's very few people that are contributing to it. So it's outside of just like my brother and myself, there's only like a handful of us. So it's a really cool little tight knit group. And I'm just excited to see the game kind of launch, but we'll get into that later.
Sweet. It's, if anybody doesn't know what Wayfinder is, how would you describe the game?
I can do it. Ready?
Okay.
It's Destiny meets SWTOR meets World of Warcraft meets Warframe.
It's pretty fair. So it has a lot of collection-based mechanics to it. So everything in the game, and again, we'll get more to the nitty-gritty of it later, but everything in the game can be earned. You can choose to pay for it with actual money, or you can invest the time in the game, go through and grind out every single piece, resource, and things like that, and have that same weapon or character that the other guy paid money for. So there's a no pay to win, and anything that you do buy outside of like the characters and the weapons is 100% purely cosmetic, whether that's a weapon skin, an outfit for the character, stuff for your house, a new mount. It doesn't matter. There's no advantage to whipping out mommy and daddy's credit card.
Cool. Well, that's good. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. I would say that it has like touches of like Monster Hunter. If you've played any of the Monster Hunter games where you go on hunts looking for certain parts and stuff like that, has remnants of that in it as well.
Very cool.
So anybody that doesn't know Rhaiu, we met through Chimeri some years ago. Yes. He was
that's why
a SWTOR PvP player. He's been around us. He kind of ditched us for a while and kind of disappeared and went and got married and had a kid. And now that his life is balanced, he's back, and he's actually helped me out a lot through the years. Just, when you have somebody that understands content creation and family life, there's not many people I personally know that like understand that. And it's really good to have that bounce, like somebody just to bounce your ideas off of and them tell you, yes, Marcus confirmed you're an idiot, but also too, like, hey, this could really work. When I was making the decision to switch over to Kick, Rhaiu was a huge part of that and helping me. He just gives opinions, but also says, hey, this is the pro, this is the con. And ultimately he doesn't say, I think you should do this. He says, this is my opinion. You decide how you want to go. But he always makes you think out of the box. So as Nick is thinking of ways to get TK427 to allow him to play video games more, he should consult with Rhaiu and, so he can, keep his,
God.
Dude, listen, this is going to happen forever.
I know.
For a while because it's great.
Well,
you know what it is?
It's
you
just
know what
funny.
it is?
It's just ridiculous because it's not like based in reality at all.
Well, no, it's because your face is so far buried in her purse that well, the reason why I'm talking so much shit is because on Monday nights, sometimes you don't even ping the Discord. Like, hey, I'm not streaming.
That was one time. It was this Monday.
Because his nose is like.
I was at a party and drinking.
No, I'm kidding. It's great.
That's what happened. But yeah.
But it's funny. The transition goes from Nick saying next to Nick having a serious girlfriend, and then as soon as he has a serious girlfriend, we all have to talk as much shit as possible.
Oh, of course.
And my honest favorite part is I don't even have anything to do with this. The community has even jumped on board this train.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, Nick 0, community 7.
Right. It's like, fuck.
I'm still pulling for you, man. I'm pulling for the underdog here.
Oh, thanks.
He'll get on the board eventually.
Yeah, Marcus will be. I'll be taking bets. He'll post the lines over under.
Oh, dude! But see, here's the thing. Now it's past me. Like even Goldie is getting on board. Of
I know.
Is Nick gonna stream?
Goldie's ripping me a new one. See you later.
And to read, yeah, dude, it's great. But
right
anyway,
on it.
So, anyways, it's good to have you back, Rhaiu. And the nice part is I've been speaking with the community team for Wayfinder, and I guess I'll announce it now. Wayfinder is the Nerds Community official game of the month for September.
Whoa.
We were thinking about Starfield. We were thinking about another game, and I put, I slapped it on the table and told A-Trax, like, I'm involved in Wayfinder. Rhaiu's involved in Wayfinder. Like, I think A-Trax purchased Wayfinder. I don't know if he's played it because I know he's playing a lot of CSGO. So the game of the month this month is Wayfinder. It's an early access game. I'll talk about that in a couple minutes, but thanks, Rhaiu, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I think, thanks for coming on, Rhaiu. Just to talk about Wayfinder being the game of the month real quick. I think that makes a lot more sense in Starfield because, like, how are we going to, like, do community things with Starfield unless it's just like, hey, look at the armor I found, or you look at the, you know what I mean, which you're gonna do anyways, but like it's less like it's a single player action RPG. It's less like community, you know.
So as we're starting to talk about it, you guys, thanks for asking me how I'm doing. Let me tell you how I'm doing.
Well, I was having a different conversation before I got to that.
No, I don't even know what to say. Well,
I was talking about something else, and then I was going to cue you up for your week. I was expecting a response. But anyways, never mind. Just like in Starfield, all the plans revolve around the sun. Marcus is the son of this show, and everything revolves around him. So, Marcus...
That's not true. That is not
how's
true.
it going, and what have you been up to?
That is
I'm
not
going to cut
true.
in on that. That was a fantastic transition.
Well, thank you, Rhaiu. I'm glad somebody recognizes.
Great.
I'm calling this bullshit. So I'm actually going to talk about Wayfinder first before anything else.
Okay.
Starting this Saturday And for the rest of this month, at least every Saturday night from now on, will be Wayfinder. I'm really in love with the game. It really gives me the action that Destiny gives, but it also gives me that feel of the love of an MMO like SWTOR did. The story is good enough, but I like the action combat. I like that you can set difficulties. Like once you beat a dungeon, you can do it again right away in like a harder difficulty, or you can put modifiers on it to be able to earn different loot. And I kind of like that right now. I'm actually really digging it. I think I have 6 hours in the game. Let me look. I should have had this queued up, but I didn't. I have 5.8 hours in. So I really only played the game twice, but I really like it. So I'm committing to myself for the rest of September, at least, that every Saturday is going to be Wayfinder, because I really want to get involved in the game more because I really like it. And like I said, we've been talking to the community management team over at Wayfinder, and they've said they're gonna come on the show. So obviously, when we have them on the show, we're gonna bring Rhaiu on with us to talk about the game, because when somebody's already in the end game, I can talk about the new the new light, or like
the intro,
new player, newer player experience, because I would imagine by the time they come on the show, I might not be max level. So I'm going to be talking about mid levels, and they're going to be wanting to talk about the end game and the end game experience that Rhaiu's experiencing, because that's what their base players are going to be at for the most part.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I don't really. The thing is, what I like about it is it's kind of like, hey, this is the beginning of a game. Get involved in it now. It's almost like you're playing the long-term beta of the game and being involved. I'll be curious to see when they decide to release it, like the real release, not the early access. Are they going to wipe the servers and everything you've done is going to wipe?
And we will get into that later.
All right. Stay tuned.
Anyways. Yes, this past Tuesday was an amazing clan night. I was so excited to jump into clan night and just there's a new raid. Crota's End was released. The 48-hour contest mode, which is like ultra hard. The raid was actually hard for teams. And that people loved it, because like one of the content creators for Destiny actually said it. He goes, look it. If you're raiding day one and you don't hate the game, hate one of your teammates because they say something stupid, you know what I'm saying? And you want to kill them, and you go take a leak, and you're talking about contemplating just shutting the game off, that's when you know you're raiding. And it made a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Like a 24-hour or 48-hour raid race is supposed to be hard. Like, right. You're not supposed to clear it. Like, they don't want you to clear it.
Right.
Like, that's a coveted title that people want to earn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so there was 4 of us right away at Clan Night, and we dove right into Crota's End, and we did the first basic encounter to like learn the mechanic of the raid, and then we got into the next thing, and we did it for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 pulls. It was a lot of fun, and we shut it off. And started the actual like clan night where we were all grouping up doing stuff. The clan night is really growing, and it's so much fun. When we first started clan night, it was, just a couple of us there, but every week more and more people are showing up. We're ending up with full teams of 6, sometimes 7, and have to break up into multiple fire teams. It's actually great. And our clan community is growing. And when you put in the hard work to something, and you have a lot of fun, it makes a big difference.
Hell yeah, it does.
Last thing is, I really need to fix my computer. There's something wrong with, I don't know what it is about my processor and motherboard. When I'm playing even Destiny, sometimes I get like a black screen. Like I'll be in the game and it'll just black screen and come back. And I don't know if that's my video card. Maybe it's dirty. My computer needs some love, and I haven't touched it in a while.
Yeah, I gotta blow mine out too.
Well, it's that, and I have a really old processor, my i9-9900K, which it still decimates in comparison to like an i7 11 series. It destroys that. You know what I mean? So it's still a really good processor. Yeah. It's just, it's getting old for my games, and it's really bottlenecking my 3090. So I've been, that is my new priority. For my own something that I'm going to buy myself is my computer needs an upgrade. But
I'll probably have to do that like next year.
Right. So
because I have a 10th gen i7.
Yeah. The next thing I've been thinking about is I've actually been thinking about having somebody build a PC for me.
Okay.
So somebody that I know, his name's Jeff Stinson. He owns Stints Build. He used to be a paintball photographer. I met him years and years ago.
I think we've always kept this.
Yes. Not on the podcast though.
Yeah.
And he started a PC building company in his basement.
Yeah.
And if you guys know me, I'm all about small business. And this guy has grown his business so much where now he has like 4 employees and they're building PCs for NBA players now. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And his business has grown, and I've talked to him, and I was actually just talking to him on Instagram. And I asked him, I said, can you build me a computer without a video card? And he goes, yeah. He goes, it's not going to be complete because you're going to get it and it's going to be missing a card. I said, yeah, but I have a 3090. And I'm not going out and buying a 4090 right now because I don't need it. My 3090 is nasty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Then all you have to do is plug in the video card and then.
Right. Exactly.
Go.
So the price tag on the computer that I want.
Okay. Which with like a whatever the.
So I want. So it's the newest i9.
Yeah.
Crazy water cool. I think it's the Corsair water cooling because you have to have water cooling if you're going to run that chip.
Yeah.
It's the best gigabyte motherboard, 64 gigs of DDR5.
Yeah.
I'm only having them put one M2 solid state in it because I have solid states here.
Okay, makes sense.
The only hiccup is I use Windows 10 Pro.
Yeah.
Right? That's my operating system. But he asked me if I want to upgrade to Windows 11 Pro. But I don't know how that works if I have all my hard drives or Windows 10. Are they?
I wouldn't risk it.
Right.
Just keep it same. You can always upgrade it all later,
Right. So total cost on that build is like $3,400 without a video card.
Wow. Well, that's all new case, all new everything.
Everything done. Like it shows up, I drop the video card in it and I play and I turn it on, and he's going to have it set up for 3090. So once I plug my 3090 in there, the Founders Edition, it's already going to recognize the card and I just go.
Okay. That's nice.
He's like, I can take one of my 3090s and pop it in to program it and get everything installed and then just pop the video card out and ship it.
Huh. That sounds pretty good.
But it's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money, though.
And he's like, oh, yeah. And he's like,
tough because it's like a pre-built with all that is like a little over, is like $2,500 or so, but not with the top of the line parts. I looked at earlier.
Dude, the i9 itself is $700. The motherboard is like $600.
Yep.
The DDR5 is like $300. You know what I mean? It just
it all adds up quickly.
It all adds up. But but that's a pipe dream. Or I just do it myself again. But I've built so many computers.
Like it would be nice. Over it?
Well, I'm not over it, but like I really like a pretty one that like has real cable management, not the Marcus zip ties everywhere and cables, like doing the wave in front of a fan. And you're like, sometimes you turn it on and you hear, and you got to open up the case to move the wire. You know what I mean? Like I would like my USBs in the front of my computer to work. because I couldn't find the wire to plug it in, so it doesn't work. You know what I mean? But that's just ultimate in laziness. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Does this guy make house calls? I can't tell if Rhaiu's frozen or he's just shocked.
It's more shocked than anything else.
Oh, there he is. Okay. And he's back. What'd you say, Rhaiu?
I said it's more shocked than anything else that Marcus has an incomplete PC built. It's like half of it doesn't work. It's like you got to tilt it this way to get it to run.
No,
right.
it all works
like,
except the front USBs. I couldn't.
And he calls me country. That's about as redneck as it comes.
Yeah, like you got to put like 13 and 1/2 of a card underneath one corner to get it to tilt properly. If you just got to leave that one card hanging out of the stack a little bit, and then it's shimmed up right so it all works correctly.
I really want you guys to know, but I don't care because my computer's my baby.
It sounds like
it can.
Whoa, don't say that now, because I know you love your children and you would never leave them incomplete. The look on his face is saying otherwise. Just for the record,
he did push his child into being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, living in Massachusetts.
All right, so fuck you, okay? Like, we were in, my sister
he
was
has
in
the audacity to come on here with a Kansas City Royals hat. Like, what is this?
This is just blasphemy.
Whatever. I went to a Kansas City Royals game. I got a hat. So I'm a hat guy. I'm the guy that goes everywhere and buys a hat.
I know.
You could get any kind of hat from Kansas City. It didn't have to be a Royals hat.
Why? I like the Royals.
He was at the Royals Stadium because they had like $4 tickets. And him and the all the players' wives and girlfriends were in the stands, and that was about it.
Anyway, so when we were in Kansas City, I took my son to the Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium and for a tour. And I never
this
thought
the Chiefs Stadium.
Yeah, obviously.
No,
I
say
never
it right.
Thought,
it's Burrowhead Stadium.
I
don't get it.
Burrowhead?
No.
Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow doesn't lose there.
Oh.
The Bengals keep beating the Chiefs. It's like their kryptonite. Anyways, go ahead, continue. I know. See, this is what I mean. You don't even watch the team, and you got your son to be a fan. Like, come on.
No. I know who Joe Burrow is. I just whatever. It's stupid. Anyway, so I never thought in my life that taking him to that stadium would make him a Chiefs fan. I thought he was just going to love the football, and then we take him to the Patriots Gillette for a game, and he loved it, loves it. But now,
yeah, but that's not the first stadium he went to.
Right. So now every time you say, who's your number one and who's your number two, he goes, Chiefs 1, Patriots 2.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart.
You know what he kept saying every time? Like, he kept comparing it to the Chiefs Stadium with Patriots Stadium the whole time we were there. It's like, this is bigger than the Chiefs Stadium. It's like, do you think the Chiefs Stadium has more people or this one? And we're like, this one does. And we're like, Chiefs Stadium's cool too. And it's like, he's always just thinking about that. Like, you put it in his head, that's the first stadium he went to. Like, you're fucked. Right. He's always going to be a Chiefs fan his whole life now. It'll be there'll be a split living room.
But hey, listen, I would much rather him be a Chiefs fan than a Jets fan.
That's
or
true.
A Giants fan or a Dolphins fan. Oh my God, dude. Can you imagine if he was like Bills Mafia, bro? Like,
oh my
dude,
God.
I would, like 5 years old, he would get kicked out of the house. like you're out. You know what I mean?
Don't show him Bills Mafia stuff because he loves wrestling already. He's going to love the people all jumping through the folding tables.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's going to be like, I want to go to that tailgate.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So, like, there's a lot worse teams he could be a fan of.
That's true.
Than the Chiefs. So, like, if you're not going to if your Patriots aren't going to be your number one, I'm okay with the Chiefs because it's way better than the alternatives.
Yeah, it could be the Giants. Could be anybody in the AFC East. You know,
dude. Can you imagine? Dude,
Colts.
Can you imagine the terrible. Colts? Like, dude, come on. I mean, oh my God. Can you imagine the Rams? I'm a Rams fan.
Yeah, nobody's a Rams fan.
Or the Houston Texans, or the worst, or the Panthers.
Right.
Found it.
Like, I would rather him be a Jaguars fan than the Panthers. You know what I mean?
No.
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 Anyway, Nick, I'm happy to have you back.
Hell yeah.
Even though you're only back for a week.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. I was back. I was on the show last week.
Oh, that's right. A-Trax wasn't here last week.
Right.
I'm always alone in this whole, like, I'm always on the show.
All by myself. Anyways. Yeah, thanks, man. Things are good.
And then, so did you end up pre-ordering Starfield to play it early, or did you actually get it on release day?
So technically I pre-ordered it like Tuesday, which is like one day early. But what I realized was, and this is kind of a screw up, but I realized that I could buy it on Newegg.com, and I have that Newegg credit card where I can pay it off in under 6 months, and it's all 0% interest. So I was like, well, it's kind of free money. I can just throw $20 at it a month, and then I'm really not, like, it's not that big. I don't know. I felt a lot better about it. So then I downloaded it intending to play Tuesday night, but I was so fucking tired that I just had it queued up on my computer and never even played it until Wednesday when it came out anyway. So I defeated the whole purpose of the pre-order. But it was cute. I guess what I paid for was just like the pre-download or something. But I've been playing it yesterday and today, and I really like it. I'm not very far into the game. I'm probably 2 hours or so. Mine's the character creation. So like I just flew my ship around for the first time and went to a different planet. So not very far into the game at all. And yeah, no, I like it. It's a Bethesda game. It's Skyrim in space, you know. I will say, like, compared to the first fight sequence, although I haven't really done real fighting yet, so I got to give it a chance, I guess. But like, it was a little anticlimactic. Like the first couple fights in Fallout 4, and maybe people did criticize them for going too big. Is like you jump in a power armor suit and fucking rip a minigun off a helicopter and fight a Deathclaw. Like that's pretty cool on the streets of Boston.
Yeah,
it's like it was more like action packed, and it was more of like a cinematic scene than the intro to Starfield. But I also haven't like finished going through the intro yet. So, like, I haven't, like, noticed all the systems yet. So, maybe I'm saying that a little too prematurely. But no, it's great. I'm going to be playing 1 million hours of it. I will be playing it on Monday, September 11th. Unfortunate date there. But Monday, September 11th will be my first Starfield stream. And I'm pretty pumped about it.
So it's confirmed you're streaming it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure we've been back and forth.
Yeah, these are one of the select Mondays. Well, no, I was always gonna stream it. Marcus just kept thinking I was gonna stream it like last week before it was out. He's like, "Well, Nick's streaming Starfield," and then I'm like, "No, that's in 2 weeks." Oh, and then the next week, Nick's streaming Starfield. He's buying it early. We're getting it done. It's Starfield week, and I'm like, "No." Like I said, that's next week, the 11th. And he's like, "Oh."
The problem is,
I don't pay attention. What's the problem?
The problem is that so when I look at, like, I don't read the news, I see content creators. So when I saw a bunch of content creators playing and talking about streaming Starfield the next day, I was like, oh shit, I thought it was coming out in a couple weeks. And people are like, can't wait for tomorrow playing Starfield. And that's when I messaged you, not realizing that I didn't even know they were doing early access until you told me. So yeah. I just thought it was coming out during release time, and you made me feel like I'm an idiot for saying that, but I didn't realize that they had an early access.
See, I don't feel bad at all about making you feel like an idiot, because I spelled that out exactly in that same group chat that you made that comment in, like 2 days before. I had said that was like, hey, here's my thoughts. I don't want to pre-order it because I'm not going to have time to play in the early access, blah, blah, blah. I'm probably not going to play it until it actually comes out on the 6th, which means I'm not going to play it on stream until the 11th. And like I highlighted all those dates and everything. And then 2 days later, Mark was like, are you streaming Starfield? I'm like, no, scroll back up.
But again, it's my own fault, but like, I thought I didn't know there was an early access. So when I saw people streaming it, I'm like, oh, okay. Nick is,
Nick will stream it.
Yeah, Nick will stream it and it's done.
Right. Well,
which honestly, I'm actually looking forward to you streaming it, Nick. I've held off watching anybody else play it. I
cool.
Played Skyrim and everything else. I'm like, I want to see Nick play this. I don't want to see anybody else do it.
No, it's cool, man. The graphics look really good they're not like top tier for in general for games, but they're good. I like it. I mean, I've got like the computer to run it at max. So, speaking of this, so I bought it on newegg.com, and the first time I looked at it, it was a Steam code for the game. I'm like, okay, great. And then when I went back to look it up again, I just clicked the first Starfield Premium Edition that I saw, and I didn't realize that it was a purchase for a Microsoft Store code. I'm like, fuck. So I downloaded and everything because I couldn't undo that, and I want to return it and try to return the digital code. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So now I got to figure out a way to link it to my Steam account, because I'd really like to do that, especially because Steam saves all your save files and stuff.
There's I can walk you through that later.
You have to get a an external app or something, I think, to do that from the Microsoft Store. You can add games to Steam, but then I can't it wants the exe file, but I can't find it in the files when I look through it through Steam. I don't know, there's some weird thing where in the Microsoft Store it's hiding it or something. I can't find that exe file for the game. But when I search it in my file explorer, it says oh yeah, it's right in this spot. It's this application, Starfield, but it doesn't have the actual where's the file? You know what I mean? Maybe I just didn't look hard enough, but
yeah, I think you didn't look hard enough. Oh, because you want to add it to the Steam library, so it's just there.
Yeah. Then and then it'll save all my shit for me. Because I don't know how this Microsoft Store shenanigans works, and I can pin it Starfield to my taskbar and stuff like that as an application, but I don't know how that works. But I wanted it to be on Steam. In other news, speaking of space travel stuff, a new episode 4 of Ahsoka was awesome.
My god, it was so good, dude.
That was really good. That honestly was redemptive of the show, in my opinion. It was a little rocky start. The first episode was solid. Episode 2 was okay. Episode 3 felt fillery, but had some character development I didn't mind. Then episode 4 was okay, here we go. Okay, now we're cooking. And we kind of knew, or I had a strong feeling based on who the directors were. And I think I talked about this last week. Dave Filoni, who created Clone Wars and Rebels, and Thrawn in that, in Ahsoka. Well, no, Timothy Zahn created Thrawn, but Dave Filoni made Thrawn the big bad guy in Rebels, but so he's, cares about the character. So
right.
Dave Filoni is directing episodes 1 and episodes 5. So next week's episode 5, and it's pretty much set up to where they're going to reveal Thrawn in episode 5, which is pretty fucking awesome, because that means we get 3 episodes of him fucking shit up. Because you get episode 6, 7, and 8, and then the series is done. I was really afraid that they're gonna what you see in the trailer, the back of Thrawn's head. I was afraid that was gonna be episode 8, the ending of the show, and it's oh, what the fuck, you know what I mean? I want him to be the bad guy, have him come back and start fucking shit up, and then you have to solve it in the next series or whatever. But that seems like that's what they're leading up to. I'm pretty pumped about it.
Well, I do agree with you, because the Dave Filoni is directing this next one. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's okay.
Okay, this is going to be the big one. Filoni's not letting director X, Y, or Z do the reveal of Thrawn.
Right. He's gonna directly control.
I don't know if we should be spoiling. I'm not going to spoil it, but the way they've done the show, you should watch Rebels. If you haven't watched Rebels, I haven't talked to anybody who hasn't. I know people that have never watched really Star Wars except maybe the original trilogy, but they watched The Mandalorian and loved it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right, because The Mandalorian basically requires you to have seen the original trilogy to understand, and that's basically it, But
it's its own standalone show. But I really feel if I would think these people who are like the people that I know that aren't real like Star Wars fans, they probably saw this Ahsoka show and they're like, this is going to be awesome. But like, if you don't know who the characters are, there's zero character development. They're basically picking up where they left off in her story.
There's character development within the show, but there's no character like backstory.
That's what I'm saying.
And like exposition and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not really. So, there's some, but not a lot.
Right. And so for me, I'm just like, all right, okay, like, you know.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, this is not spoilery because it's just talking about, I guess, like right in the first episode, like they talk about, this is light spoilers, I guess, but like super light, like a feather light. So like they mention how Ahsoka was training Sabine, but you never see that in Rebels anyways. So like that little bit of exposition, how they just talk about it, is not really something that you miss. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, for sure, it's basically Rebels season 5. Like, especially the ending of episode 4 here, like, you're going to have absolutely no clue what's going on and be very, very, very confused if you've not seen all of Rebels.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong with that, but wasn't that the whole point of Disney's quote-unquote creating Legends, is because it got so confusing that nobody could follow, and now they're just doing the same thing?
Pretty much, yeah. But then they were like, oh, hey, we control all the stuff, and you can watch it on our exclusive platform. Where we make more money because you watched our confusing extra lore.
Right.
But also, like, Dave Filoni's writing all this story, and he wrote Rebels, so he's going to, like, reference his own work, of course, and Clone Wars. So it makes sense. I'm not super mad at it, but, I feel like they definitely could have bridged that gap a lot better to make it, like I thought last week's episode was like a 9 out of 10, but like if you hadn't seen Rebels, that was probably like a 7 or maybe an 8, but like a 7, like 2 points less basically. You're gonna be like, well, yeah, the action was cool, but like I don't know what the hell's going on, and like there's several layers of things you could be confused about, but.
I was under the impression that when Disney took over, that the whole idea is that they wanted to do their own branch into something new for Star Wars, which we've seen with The Mandalorian. It's a whole new story. Now, yes, they're bringing in Boba Fett and some of that stuff, but, with Grogu, the only species or the only other character of that species that we have seen has been Yoda, and that was like
and
all
Yaddle.
of us older. And Yaddle. Those are the only ones that we've seen. So now we're sitting here, we're talking about, this baby Grogu who's force sensitive. He chose to leave Luke Skywalker, and now so this is something completely different and new, which is what people were expecting when it came to Disney having the rights to this. They were going to make their own story. Say what you want about the sequel series, you like it, you hate it, whatever. But that's what I was under the impression was going to happen, which is why when Mandalorian came out, I was heavily invested. I want to see what Disney was doing. Yeah. Now with the Ahsoka series, and I'm just sitting here, I'm like, it's been so long since I've watched Rebels, so I'm like, I'm lost. I've forgotten most of this story.
Yeah, that's tough. See, I'm spoiled because I watched all of Rebels. 3 years ago when I had COVID, I was stuck in the house. I was out of work for like a month. I had it bad. I had the original fresh out of the lab strain, but in March 2020. But yeah, I watched like the rest of Clone Wars that I hadn't seen already, and then watched all of Rebels. But so it was a little bit more fresh in my mind than it when it had like aired. But yeah, it's tricky because like I think Disney it's in that vein of like, yeah, Disney made new stuff, and part of the new stuff that they made is Clone Wars and Rebels. So like it is part of the stuff that they made, the new stuff, and now this is just extrapolating off of that. But it's tricky because a lot of people, especially like adults, like casual adult fans, would not have watched Rebels. I've like TK427's mom actually was talking about this. She was like, like Marcus is saying, like, love The Mandalorian, like that. You're describing exactly that type of person,
right?
Like, love The Mandalorian, seen the original trilogy, like maybe saw the prequels in theaters once or whatever, but nothing too crazy. Enjoy Star Wars at a casual level, and that's perfectly fine, by the way. But it was like, after the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, like I kind of miss Mandalorian because I don't really identify, like saying I don't really identify with these characters, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's because you're missing 4 seasons and 75 episodes worth of time with these characters, so like this is just picking up like it's episode 76 and 77, not like it's episode 1 and 2,
Right.
So it's tricky. It's tough because it's very rewarding for the people who have seen Rebels and like you're like, are for more, have watched all of that content with those characters, and it's way more than 75 episodes with Ahsoka, counting all the Clone Wars stuff. But so it's tricky. But I feel for the people that have more casual fans,
Yeah,
right.
And the thing is that Disney was on such a good roll with Rogue One, like that bridged into what people remembered and saw in the original trilogy. It was a new take on that story. And filled in a lot of that stuff, and that's why Rogue One was such a fantastic film, and everyone loved it because they could understand and relate to. Okay, this is where it ended. Now we kind of understand this story a little bit more, and that led into Andor.
I was just gonna say,
it
both
just bridges perfectly. It was great.
Yeah,
but now we've got Ahsoka, and you've got all of this stuff that nobody knows. It's like we're back to square one before Disney even had it. Casual fans have no idea what's happening.
That's tough. That is tough. It's hard to. I would have liked some more exposition or flashbacks to like clarify stuff. You know what I mean? I think it would have been cool to see some of the flashback scenes of like some spoilers for Rebels, but like Sabine training with Kanan with the Darksaber or something. You know what I mean? Like maybe like when she was training with what's his name, the robot guy. Like she's trying to figure it out, right? And she's like. You can see her getting frustrated, then you flash back to her with Kanan, and you can kind of see that cool stuff in live action. Maybe you have Freddie Prinze Jr. play him in live action in the flashback. That's the guy who voiced him. That would be cool, like just quick 2-3 minutes or something. I don't know. I think that then people go like, oh, okay, like if you don't know who Sabine is or who this character is, you at least get that like you get more of a backstory of like, okay, they've been through some stuff before, like you know some things about them, but like it gives a lot more context to the first few episodes there. I think they could have done better with that for sure. But at least I'm trying not to spoil things. I want to talk about specifics, but
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Marcus, go ahead.
I think the way they're doing the show is going to be awesome. I think if this is truly going to be the prequel to Filoni's movie, which is Heir to the Empire, I'm actually really excited because if that's the case, potentially the bad guys win at the end of this series.
I expect them to, actually. Yeah. Because then if you can't like have Thrawn neatly tucked away at the end of the series and then have him be the big bad guy in the movies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to come back for the movie. He's going to win, and they're going to be like, oh, shit. And then I don't know which series are going to be in between the movie and this, but whatever content that is. But
last question for it.
Yeah.
Do they kill Ahsoka at the end of the season?
No. Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's baby. Ahsoka has
at some point
the thickest plot armor of any Star Wars character ever. There's
she
no
has
way.
to die at some point.
Yeah, she has to. Like,
yeah, she will in the movie.
Okay,
she'll kill Thrawn and herself or something in some sort of sacrifice, and then that's why Ahsoka's not in the sequel trilogy. There we go. I just did the like done and dusted hand movement there, but what you can't see because this is an audio only podcast.
But we heard you clap.
Yeah. So, also going on in my life, NXL Chicago is not this weekend, but next weekend. That's why I will not be on the show next week. And the layout for the NXL Chicago, a.k.a. The official name is the NXL Windy City Major. The layout for it came out yesterday, so I went down to the field after work. I conveniently missed the guy, Jacob and Kyle Nicolau, and one other gentleman whose name I forgot, setting up the field, and I was like, oh great, I can just look at it now. So that's cool. So I've got a double practice this weekend with the boys. Even our teammates from who go to school in Florida are flying up this weekend for practice. And then we're all flying out to Chicago for the tournament next Thursday morning. And also, I got a couple of new mask frames to spice up my sort of paintball style, which I'm pretty pumped about. I got some of the style is like I've got mostly black stuff and then tan grips and a tan hopper, and my tank is tan, so I got some tan frames for my goggles. It's a whole style thing that I like. I subscribe to like the look good, feel good, play good mentality. Like if you look good, if you think you look good, right, then you're more confident and you're going to play better. Even if you look like an idiot, if you think you look cool, then you are cool and you play better, you know? That's my philosophy. It's like what people do with Space Barbie stuff. Like, does having the lightsaber color the one you want help you press the buttons faster? No. But like it makes you feel better, so you're more confident. So maybe you do click the right buttons at the right time more. Well, anyways, Rhaiu was lost in my analogy there.
I'm following you there. The only reason I did any kind of Space Barbie is solely for cutscenes. Like I could care less what my character looks like, but when it comes to a cutscene and there's voice lines, I want it to look I want it to look the part.
That's fair. I'm with you. It's always weird when you're like, I don't know, you wearing the armor that's like got the good stats but looks terrible, and then you forget to switch to your like showing outfit. And you're like, God damn it, I've got a pink arm and a green leg, and I've got like orange mohawk for some reason.
Exactly. It's just like in Skyrim, another Bethesda game. It's like you're sitting here and you're going to go hook up this dragon, and it's like, oh, he's got a stick as a weapon.
For sure.
Right.
Looks so stupid.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, anyways, in AIE news,
Tuesdays.
Yep.
9 p.m. Eastern. There's two amazing things that happen at the exact same time.
Okay.
That Star Wars The Old Republic is still running their mandatory fun night, where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. Corley leads you through whatever weekly thing they decide to do. I feel bad if you pick a week that they're on the Republic side, because the Republic side is the worst side. But on the Republic side weeks, you could just come play Destiny with us, because nobody wants to play on the pub side. And you can just play with us because we're Imperial all the time in Destiny. Yeah. So 9 p.m. Eastern is also clan night. We talked about it briefly before. We really just do PvP, some Gambit. If somebody needs a mission, a couple of us will break off and help somebody with a mission. You want to do the new seasonal stuff. It's really a good time. Like I said, every week lately, we've been getting, 6 to 7 people, which that's always fun. In most clan nights, we end the night with a private PvP match. And it's fun. Usually everybody wants to go. It's usually everybody wants to kill me, even though I try to set everybody up to kill Duft. But
bless you.
Thank you. It's really a good time. I'm just, it's no bullshit. They do a lot of other things in AIE. Friday nights is the WoW raid. It's like the mandatory fun night where they do their new raid, where they take anybody with no experience, and they do a raid. Monday nights is Guild Wars 2. Tuesday nights is SWTOR and Destiny. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights, they're doing stuff in Final Fantasy 14. Saturday night with Mal is Saturday Night Lotro, where he's playing Lord of the Rings Online. So literally almost every single night in AIE, there's something to do. So
if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org. Get our Discord information in the top right-hand corner of the website. Click that purple button and ask for a guild invite. Whether or not you play Star Wars The Old Republic, Destiny 2, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, Wayfinder, or any of the other games that we play, we would love to have you. And with that, I gotta pee. So we'll be right back.
My God, what is taking him so goddamn long?
Nick, hurry up, man.
It's all that beer you're drinking. Come on, bro.
Bros before hoes, man. Get off Snapchat.
And we're back. So today we're talking Wayfinder. And we have the Wayfinder Wikipedia Wizard with us. That's right. It's Rhaiu.
Oh, yes. So, top off. So the game's currently in early access. And the idea is that it's going to be in early access for about 6 months. And then it's going to be released as a free-to-play title. So if you want to get into it, you want to play it now, minimum you're going to spend is $20. It's on Steam, and it is on the PlayStation Store as well. when it does release on free to play, it will be on Steam, PS4, and PS5. There
Sweet.
are plans and talks about getting it onto the Xbox platform as well, but there's no current ETA as to when that's going to happen.
Okay.
So the game is cross-play, so it doesn't matter what console you're playing on when it's released, and it is cross-progression. That's one thing a lot of people have been asking for, because some have consoles, others have PCs, they have both, they want to play whatever they're comfortable with, fine. That's there. So as long as you have it on there, you just have to link your DE account. Once that account is linked to the PlayStation Store, as well as your Steam, all of that progress is saved. So
That's nice.
It helps out when you're doing that. So that's their idea there. Now, this is the first game of this type for the developers. The developers are Airship Syndicate. They're the ones that made Darksiders Genesis. That's one of their more widely known games. Now they're being backed by Digital Extremes. They're the one of the developers that helped on BioShock 2, as well as they've developed and published Warframe.
Okay.
That's something that's been around for a very long time, but still getting updates. In fact, they have a convention called TennoCon every single year. So they just had their TennoCon a couple weeks ago, but they're backing them. So if you have played Warframe in the past, whether it's again either on PC or on a console, you'll notice very similar styles to the progression system. You'll notice very similar styles to the collection aspect to it. So it's not unfamiliar if you've played those types of games in the past.
Right.
Now it did have a very rocky launch because, and I'll stress this enough, no matter how much stress testing, closed beta, open beta access you try and put something through, there were at least 1 million people across all 3 platforms that tried to rush this when the game first launched.
Wow.
Their servers were not ready for anything like that.
What else is new?
Right. Right.
Like,
people just completely hated on him for that. They're like, "Oh, you should have done more of this, and that." And I mean,
And they're like,
you
"We
can't
did."
prepare for
yeah, like every single game you've ever played, launch is terrible.
Right. So the launch. Now, the thing is, they pushed this launch back 3 separate times because they wanted to make sure it was ready. It was in a state that could be playable. Now, they pushed it back the first 2 times for that. The third time they pushed it back was because they wanted it to launch on the consoles at the same time that it went live on PC.
Okay. That's
so they
reasonable.
pushed it back intentionally just to make sure that everybody who had access could get onto it. So for that, I give props. I give props to Airship for doing that. That's fantastic. And if you take a look at the reviews on whether on Steam or on the PlayStation Store, don't let those reviews sway your opinion. A lot of people review bombed them because of that. But if you do go onto Steam and you take a look at it as playtime, you make sure that it says over 10 hours. It's mostly positive reviews for the game. So go into it with an open mind. If you're choosing to spend the $20, again, in about 6 months, and I say about because, they have pushed it back a couple of different times, so if that's something they decide to do in the future. But if they do, be that as it may, just wait for the free-to-play aspect to it. You could take a look at Marcus's stream. You could take a look at anybody on Twitch or Kick that streams the game and see what it looks like before you actually decide to spend money on it. The company is very open. They've been very communicative about the different back-end issues they're having, about the servers, about compensation for the players, which they did. Anybody that was a part of the launch for early access, they were compensated heavily. You got a free character unlock as well as in-game currency that you have to spend actual real money on. You got 1,000 of that, which is the equivalent of about $10 per person. And then on top of that, you got reward keys, which is their battle pass system. So you got 5 free skips in that. So they heavily rewarded their players that had to suffer through it, and was a lot more than people thought was going to happen.
And when we say it was bad, it was pretty bad. So I logged in. I must have gotten kicked out of the game 5 times. The rubber banding, I would say, is probably the one thing that bothers me the most. Is at first I thought it was my like computer.
Okay.
But then I started reading like the Reddit and like not the reviews, but just what like people were talking about it online, and everybody is having the rubber band issues. And
Okay.
I'm like, so I know it's an early access game, but I feel like your game in early access should not be rubber banding the way it is. Like, I can understand server crashes, in my opinion. You know, server crashes are okay because that's you're testing your systems, and the whole point of early access is for that. But your game shouldn't be rubber banding, because if you're releasing the game, it should be complete enough to not be rubber banding.
Yeah, but isn't
You know
rubber
what I mean?
banding a server overloaded issue?
Well, it is, but they should have that worked out.
Yeah, but if the servers are overloaded because they have 3 times the amount of people than they accounted
But-
for, then that's going to happen. You know what I mean?
But that
Like
should
if
be-
you're giving them a pass for server issues, that is a server issue.
what I'm
That's
saying
an
is
overloaded server.
you
know?
should be getting kicked off the server. If you're rubber banding as much as I am, it should just be booting you from the game, because the game is struggling. I guess that's just me.
Yeah.
But you know, Rhaiu went on this like 20-minute stint when I was talking to him about how, like, if you buy an early access game, you know what you're getting. It's an early access game. You need to expect it. But here's the big one. It's a free-to-play game,
Yeah.
and they put it on early access, and they're charging you for the early access. So I'll use another example. If you pre-order Call of Duty, not now because Battle.net makes you pay for it,
Okay.
but it used to be if you pre-order the game, which you pay nothing, you get access to their beta, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You're basically paying $20 to $150 for beta access and being the first ones to play the game and work through their kinks, again, which I can understand. Because believe it or not, the gameplay itself is pretty solid. I haven't run into any issues with the gameplay, minus rubber banding and the game freezing. But if technically, because it's a live service game, that's all server issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Logging into the game has gotten a lot better. So clearly they went to the server store and bought another 50 servers to handle it. The big one, and here comes a Rhaiu point, is they built this game to run on 3 generations of systems. Well, part of me doesn't feel bad because they were ambitious and wanted to do that. But that doesn't excuse the bad servers,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
you're still paying for a product. But at the end of the day, when you buy Call of Duty on day one or any other game, there's always problems. So it's par for the course.
Now, my only counter with that about the fact that they were ambitious to do that, and again, I completely agree with your point. They're ambitious for doing that, but there are still folks that can't get PS5s, folks that don't necessarily have the greatest of computers to be able to run some of the games and stuff. And you might say, yeah, that this, that, and the other, which is fine. But I mean, hell, you could turn on your PS3, and I still have mine, and there are still some games that are live service that are still running those servers. So that's another generation back. So the fact that they still want players, and Warframe is still on PS4 for the record. So that is a big developer still providing services, updates, and things like that on something back in 2012.
Yeah.
So it's still possible. So the fact that Airspace is taking a leap because they've never done a live service game. Everything that they've done has been a single player experience, from Darksiders Genesis to the League of Legends story that they did. It's all been solid thing. This is their first live action experience. And I say they're off to a good start. Yeah, it's a lot more interest in the game than people thought was going to be there. But damn if they're not working their asses off to try and stabilize things. And they have the roadmap that they have published and are constantly updating and referencing for people to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see this level of communication from any AAA developer. For God's sakes, Call of Duty can't do it. They promise you one thing where this Call of Duty is going to be around for a few years, and then backhand you with, what is it, Modern Warfare 3 coming out next year.
But that's always been their MO. That's, I think, Call of Duty's failure is how they have if they release their game once every 2 years, I think the game, it would be a better game.
And I'm not disagreeing, but I think for someone who's been playing Call of Duty for so many years, I think what they really should do, and if they are actually interested in doing something as far as building a good game for the community, is to scrap the individual titles, create a live service game, and put all of the things that people want from all the past Call of Duties into something like that. Map selection. How many Call of Duties has it been since we've had map voting and map selection in the games?
I agree.
A long time, yeah.
But that was something that everybody loved.
Yeah.
Back in Modern Warfare 2. It was still in Black Ops 2. It wasn't until after Black Ops 2 that map voting was gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's something that the community wanted. We wanted simplification for loadouts. So we had the 10-point system with Black Ops 2, which was one of the best things. It made loadouts simple. Now you have weapon tuning that complicates it even more.
Yeah.
So,
I kind of like it, but but that's because I like those RPG elements of like being able to tweak shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that makes it a lot more complicated for sure.
I mean, for the overall consensus.
Yeah, totally.
Right. So, but the point that I was trying to make is, as far as the communication aspect of it, Call of Duty will say one thing, but do another thing. They haven't stuck to their guns about something they've said.
Yep.
Now, from the roadmap aspect of it, I can see exactly that their main priority, even at the beginning, was stabilization of the servers. They wanted to make sure that was fixed. So every idea, everything on the roadmap was immediately pushed back because this is the biggest priority. They prioritized their community outside of cash grabbing everybody. And then they in my opinion, overcompensated everybody for it. Every single player. I mean, that's $10. If you take it $10 with an average about 1 million players, that's a lot of money the company just forked over and let go.
Well, but they also have to, right? You're releasing a live service game. They have to do that. You know, I'm not saying, listen, the game is fantastic. The gameplay, the mechanics, even though it's a little ranged heavy and it's not melee combat friendly, but all I'm saying is they're fixing the game, and they have to, because if they want this game to be the next Warframe, SWTOR, Destiny, anything like that, long-term game, they have to. This is like basic level gaming. They have to fix everything,
right?
Because when the game goes free to play, there's going to be 50,000 million trillion bazillion more people that are downloading this on day one.
Yeah, that's true.
And I hope that there are. I truly hope that the people stay interested in this game.
Well, I think you're going to have ebbs and flows, right? You're going to have an initial wave of, this is the best game ever. Then you'll have people leave, and the game you'll keep. The big thing is to get to a point to where you keep a base. Whatever that amount of base player is, that's your goal. You know what I mean? Obviously, the game release. So early access, let's say there's 1,000 daily players. I don't actually know. I got to look at the Steam charts.
There's about 2,500 daily players.
Okay, so 2,500. When the game releases for the first 2 weeks, there's going to be probably 100,000 players daily.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it dips, you want to make sure that the amount of people that you have is enough to sustain the community and continue it to grow.
Now, again, that 2,500 number is only Steam. I don't know about Sony side stuff.
No, I'm with you. What they do right in the game is they don't bullshit you on what the game is. That I like a lot. SWTOR's team, it's always been smoke. Oh my God. Do you guys hear a clicking noise? I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's Rhaiu's clicking a pen.
Oh my God, dude. I'm thinking like I'm fucking hearing shit. I didn't know he had a pen. But anyway. What they're doing right is they're saying, hey, we're fixing this. They fix it. Hey, this is the content coming. This is what I want to hear. You know what I mean? Like they're doing their thing. Mm-hmm. Big questions I have for the community manager are, when the game goes live, is all of this early access being wiped? Because if that's true, I'm done. I'll play a little bit and I'm not going to play anymore. I'll wait for the game to release because I don't want to drop 100, 150 hours into a game for just to get wiped at launch.
Well, and I'm glad you actually asked that. I know you asked it at the beginning. So one thing that I really love about this team is that they do airport ask me anythings. So pretty much what they do is they do a live stream with the community managers, those that are a part of it, and the dev team that's there. Now, this most recent one that they did was because the team was traveling to and from PAX West. So if anybody happened to go to PAX West and you got to go hang out with the crew or the after party and stuff like that, I'm a little jealous because I would love some of the merch that I saw. But anyway, so they do the airport Ask Me Anything, and a lot of the community had that same question. And I'm going to bullet point it here. Where's it at? All right. Damn it. Where'd it go? See, I had it, and then here it is. So, will there be a reset when free-to-play starts? No. So, any progress you're making in early access is going to carry right over. Characters, weapons, progression, all of it's going right into it. So, you don't have to worry about it being wiped.
Okay, let me ask Nick this question.
Yep.
Nick, because Nick hasn't played the game. So let's say it goes early access and I say, hey, Nick, come play the game with us. He says, all right. Nick, are you going to feel like you're so behind in the game because the game just technically released, but everybody around you is max level?
No, because it was released in early access. Like you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't feel cheated. Like it's like, hey, this game's not good. Like they're saying, hey, this isn't really finished, but you can start playing it if you want to in this state, and your stuff carries over. And like you're sort of, it's a trade-off of like, hey, this is unpolished, but you can start playing it. You know? And like if you choose to play in the unpolished state, then like great, you sort of, then that's like the trade-off for you, like getting ahead in your progression. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't mind that, even though if it's like, if I like don't want to spend the $20 on the early access, like I don't think that's an egregious amount of money for that. If they were like $60 early access, I'd be like, all right, come on, like what are we doing? But
now my side with that as well, and this is why I encourage people to do your research into games before you either A, buy them, or B, invest a lot of time in them, because there is no quote unquote max level. You can have a high level character and you can do high level and end game content. But as I mentioned before, the purpose of this game is collection. You're going to collect characters. You're going to collect weapons. But once you gain that new weapon or gain that new character, guess what? It's level 1. You have to regrind it. Currently, the max level right now in early access is level 30 for weapons and characters.
Yeah.
So just because, Marcus might have a level 30 character and a level 30 weapon, and Nick's over here with a level 1 stuff, guess what? Marcus could have another character that's level 1.
Right.
And he could pick it up. And it's no different than somebody playing SWTOR. You can have a max level character, but guess what? You can create a new one.
Right.
So with that point, it makes it to where everybody is on the same level playing field. And the one thing that I appreciate about the game is that unlike SWTOR and other games in the past where they've tried to scale lower level players to higher level, whether that be stats or cooldowns or even abilities. In World of Warcraft's case, if you go into PvP, you're scaled. You have abilities. You don't even know what the hell they do.
Right.
Wayfinder scales down. So you're level 30, but guess what? If you're going into a level 1 dungeon, you're going to be scaled to the absolute max for level 1.
Well, that's cool.
Whatever the highest difficulty is for this dungeon you put it to, you're going to be right there.
Yeah.
You're not going to one-shot crap.
That's cool.
So it makes it to where you can't carry people. Now, granted, you can have, more stats and you can have like all of your abilities versus a level 1 character, but
Yeah.
Right.
it makes it to where there is no carrying. There is no piggybacking off of people. You're going to grind the same damn thing.
That's cool. I like that.
So I do like that feature, right? I really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
The hesitations that I have with that is they have to be able to, because if I do some high level content with you because you're max level,
Mhm.
and then you leave the party, am I going to struggle going into that said content even though it gears to my level? Am I going to feel the difference of that? That's the question I have. You know what I mean? Is the game going to feel different when I'm playing with, okay, I'll use, I'm going back to Call of Duty and I don't know why, but like when me, you and Nick are playing Call of Duty and we get into your lobbies, Rhaiu, we're playing against way better players than when it's just Nick and I.
Yeah, like
Right.
I thought I was good at Call of Duty, and then I was let Rhaiu be party leader, and I was very quickly humbled. I was like, I can't kill anything. I'm just dead always. Marcus is like, I haven't even shot my gun yet.
Right, exactly.
So to answer that, with Call of Duty, that's all skill-based matchmaking and their crap with that. But the way that this is, the only difference that I feel like you would feel, now I haven't tested it being at that point and already experiencing the majority of the content that Early Access has to offer. Nothing surprises me, whether that be enemy attacks or modifiers that you can put onto the things or scaling it to higher difficulty. Nothing changes for me. So with like the scaling difficulty, and these are some of the things that when the community managers are on, I'll be able to ask them. But like the attack patterns for scaling a difficulty for certain things don't change. They just get a higher health bar and they hit harder. So if you know the mechanical stuff to the fights, it's easy. It's just rinse and repeat. Just a little bit harder, and you get a little bit better rewards for it.
Yeah.
So as a new player, if you're going into experiencing high-level content and you haven't done something equivalent to that, yes, you're going to struggle because you don't know the attack patterns. You don't know what this enemy does versus that enemy. But if you take that level 1 character and put it to somebody who has played through that content, it's going to be the same thing. I might have to dodge a little bit more or block some more, shoot my gun more than I would normally, but it's going to be the same.
Right.
So it's just an experience thing. So as far as the characters available, Marcus, I know you're with the whole melee versus range, and I understand your viewpoint with it. I personally, having played both the same character you have, his name is Wingrave. He's a sword and shield user at the beginning. The character that I play majority, his name is Silo, who is more of a tactical shoot dodge type of person.
Sure.
Playing both of them, I don't feel like it's catered more toward range characters. I feel it's easier a little bit, but when I play Wingrave as a tankier character, I'm using my block more I'm using my stamina more as a blocking thing than with Silo as dodging things. So I'm sitting here like the boss that I took you into this week. Instead of rolling out of the circles, I sit in them and I just block it because I know I can take this hit from you. It's not going to affect me. But if I'm my other character, I have to get out of this. I'm not going to survive it. So to me, it feels like there is a difference in playing those characters, and you have to understand that difference. If you're going in with the same mentality as I need to dodge everything on a melee character, you're not going to have a good time. And if you're playing someone that does high DPS, quick in, quick out with a lot of mobility, you really aren't going to have a good time. So I think that's where the difference is. And I feel like if once you have a ranged character, you'll be able to kind of experience those differences.
Well, so going with that, I am going to be using a ranged character. So I am going to buy a ranged character. because I'm this Saturday. So by the time you guys hear this, it might be. Oh no, Nick's
Hopefully
been getting
tomorrow.
the shot. Yeah, tomorrow. Well, anyway, Saturday night I'm gonna do a ranged character, and I'm gonna start leveling that character, and try it. Because before I commit to finishing the story, I want to try 2 characters to see the difference. Because I love the melee combat, love it. But when we went into this boss room, let me think of like a cluster bomb, right? Where a bomb is going off and there's like multiple like circles on the ground where the bombs are hitting. As a melee character, you can't even get near the boss because you have to be blocking with your shield, but that takes away your stamina. So every time your shield is getting hit, you're losing stamina, but there's so many circles on the ground where I feel as if it's like they're challenging the melee player to being forced to play range. SWTOR is the same thing. Forever, SWTOR's raids were always range friendly melee. It made it hard. So anybody who played, main jug or marauder and made it work, they were really, really good players. Now, granted, some players, and now I have not played a range character yet in Wayfinder, but for me, is there like if I hit the attack, is it automatic shoot or is there like a pause between the shoot?
There's
you
pause.
have to so now you have to stand still. Is that circle going to be under you when you're standing still? So next week I'll talk more about the range versus melee, but right now I feel, because I haven't played range yet, that the game is way more range friendly than it is melee friendly.
Okay.
Hey, Nick, let me ask you a question about Starfield. Well, I know we're talking about Wayfinder.
Okay.
When you created your character,
Yep.
do you have to go through like space training program, like you're going to like NASA to learn how to fly a ship?
No. Well, kind of. So like the way it ends up is like you make your character and then you're just sort of, well, not even, you load into the game and you don't make your character till after. So like you load into the game and then you don't see what your character looks like. Some stuff happens, you pass out and wake up in the medical bay and they're like, "Hey, are you okay? Blah blah blah. That was crazy." Like, "Hey, like, is this medical information about you correct?" And they hand you like an iPad. And then that's when you make your character. And you're changing all the stats and shit, and like your backstory and the traits you pick and all that stuff. And then you go through and more stuff happens. And it's like, "Oh, hey, like I'm going to stay here. You take my ship and go over there." And then it's like, and the robot on the ship is like, "Hey, have you ever flown one of these things before? I'm sure you have, but just in case, here's how you do it." And that's how it goes.
Well, the reason why I brought you into this, because it's a complete different style of game, right?
Yeah. Not my style, but different style for sure. Yep.
Right. It's just a different style of game. That's the one good thing about Wayfinder is it teaches you all of this stuff, like from the get-go.
That's nice. Like
I
Destiny
think
does not.
Right. Destiny does not.
Yeah.
Like Destiny basically says you should have been playing Destiny 1 back in 2014 or whenever it came out. Yeah, 2014.
Right.
Whenever it came out. Because if not, no, it had
Good
Destiny
luck.
1 came out before that. 2000. Shit.
I don't know what year it came out.
2004. So
14, you mean?
14, yep.
2004 was like Halo Combat Evolved.
Exactly. So in 2014, they're like, if you haven't been playing since 2014, you suck.
Right.
Figure it out for yourself.
Right.
You're almost dependent on people to help teach you. Where I was lost a couple times learning, but Rhaiu was there to be like, "No, it's stupid. You got to do this." I would say my biggest gripe on the game right now is the map system. So when you have a mission or a quest, it's not highlighted on your map. So when you pull up your map and you're like, "Oh, I got to go to the Bissell Brothers Brewery and get some beer." Yep. it's not highlighted on your map, that kind of sucks. Like there's a marker that says 468 meters away, but when you pull up your map to see if like maybe there's like over the river and through the woods path you want to go, because maybe there's a chest down there that you want to get, you don't know because you don't actually know where it is on the map. I would say that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
But maybe it's
tricky.
coming.
But the game is called Wayfinder, so like figure it out.
Yeah.
Like you got to go find your way. That's the name of the game. Literally.
Yeah. For sure. All right. It's our time, our favorite time of the show, I should say, for working class questions.
Let's go. All right.
Working class questions is all questions given by the community for us on the show. Every week, the community joins that's in the Discord, joins in and asks some ridiculous ass questions. Just for the record, I'm giving a little preference this week in the notification. I asked for people to give some obscure questions just to spice it up a little bit.
Fall themed and obscure questions. So, all right, first question. Here we go. It's from Atrax. What puts you in the fall/autumn mood? I got 2 words for you. Pumpkin spice.
I mean, I'm not really like, I'm such a summer guy that like all I think about, like the weather is nice in the fall, but like, we do fun shit because I feel like in New England, like everybody saves all the cool shit to do until the fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, I wait till the fall to do this. And you're like, fuck, let's go to the beach.
Right.
But I'm such a summer guy. Nothing really gets me in the fall because all I think about as every day goes on is I'm one day closer to fucking winter.
Yeah, which is
and
6
winter
months
is
around
the
here.
worst shit ever. Like
It's forever.
if I lived in Rhode Island, it would be okay the winter because at least I could wear a hoodie and go to the beach and walk the beach, and it would give me like, that would be like the highlight of my life to say summer is coming. But where I live, all you have is snow, misery, and salt on the roads.
Yep, and dirt in the snow piles.
Oh yeah, dirt in the snow pile.
And that's it.
And occasionally some yellow snow from the dogs.
Right, once in a while. No, I was going to say, I thought of something else. What actually puts me in the fall mood is football. Like when football starts, I'm like, yeah, it's fall. And I think that's what Rhaiu was going to say. Sorry.
Absolutely. As soon, just like tonight, we got the NFL kicking off. I know this Sunday where I'm going to be. I know where my family's going to be. And every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night from here on till the end of the year.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. There's a sweet UFC fight this weekend on Saturday too.
Really?
Yeah, Israel Adesanya's fighting some guy. It's Sean Strickland, who I think Izzy's going to destroy him, but he was supposed to fight somebody else. But anyways, it's exciting. It's football is back. That means it's fall time. Let's see. What's our next question here? What is the worst pumpkin spiced flavored thing you've heard of? Oh, I got one. I'll go last, though, because I jumped out first last time.
Trying to think, because I don't really... Like, even my wife doesn't jump at like pumpkin spice. Like, she loves her Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, but
That's about it. That's that. I mean, I do like a pumpkin spice coffee, a latte, typically with oat milk. To really make it extra complicated, but like I can't hate on a pumpkin spice latte. I think I've had like 4 of them already since they came out. So no, I think 3. But I don't know, the worst pumpkin spice thing. Can you guys think of anything? I got one that I thought of. I've seen. It might have been a joke online, but I saw it. I synced a picture. It must be real.
Wait. Oh, the worst pumpkin spice?
Yes.
yeah.
It was like, those like snacks. Oh shit. Like Little Debbie, like,
like a
Swiss
Twinkie
cake
type of
roll.
thing.
Yeah. Like a Twinkie.
That was pumpkin spice flavored.
But it was pumpkin flavored Twinkie, but it wasn't a Twinkie. It was like one of those kind of like Hostess snacks.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking gross.
That sounds bad.
You know,
pumpkin
my
bread's
wife
good
is-
though. Maybe it would be okay, but no, if
dude.
it's like that weird artificial, it's gross.
dude, pumpkin, like, ooh.
What?
You know, Storm and Norman is quite the bread maker. We should find out if he can do a pumpkin fucking sourdough bread.
No, not
Gotcha.
sourdough. Just a regular.
Why
like,
would you go sourdough?
well, because my dad makes sourdough, but Storm and Norman's my dad. And Mark's his uncle because we're cousins.
He knows that. Everybody knows
I
that.
know. I'm over explaining for the sake of comedy. Pumpkin bread is like banana bread. It's like dessert bread. It's like thick. Sourdough would make it weird.
Oh man, a nice piece of pumpkin bread with some butter.
Yeah, or
melted
like
on top.
even go like cream cheese frosting.
Oh,
Ooh,
bro.
that's even better.
Yeah. Well, you know what I do with the pumpkin bread and banana bread is I put a little butter on it and I put it on my griddle and like get it a little like
a little
nice
crispy
little
action.
toasted. Oh,
That's
dude.
money in the bank.
And like what I've also done is done like an open face sandwich where I've grilled the banana bread and then dropped an egg on the top.
that's
Ooh,
good too.
sweet savory combo going on. I can wrap my
Yeah,
head
dude.
around
Like
that.
no cheese though. You can't do the cheese on
The
it.
cheese
Like
it's too
like cheese and banana.
yeah. No, I'm out.
But maybe.
So the
right,
the worst
Go
pumpkin
ahead.
spice thing I've heard of is pumpkin spice toothpaste.
Mm.
Blech.
That's
Nasty.
just dumb.
Yeah.
Like that's like Colgate has a bunch of extra toothpaste and they're like, what stupid shit can we come up? Pumpkin spice. Some basic broad is gonna buy that.
Yeah, like you put that in like a gift basket. That's a joke. You know,
Yes.
it's like
Or-
the fall gift basket, and it's like pumpkin spice for your coffee.
Yeah, no,
pumpkin spice this.
It's called the
pumpkin-
basic basket.
The basic basket.
And it has everything that a basic fall person would want.
Right. Exactly. All right, here's our next question. Is the fall flu worse than spring allergies? See, I don't get the fall flu, so
Yes.
Dude, I grew up and the flu sucks ass, but I always grew up in like you're sick as a dog for a couple days, you come back and you're like a champion. But I don't actually have allergies, so
for me,
sucks.
I have really bad
Sucks to
allergies. I get shots for them, and they're improving now. But spring allergies are way worse. I don't always get the fall and the flu. Like it's not like a guarantee, but I always get allergies. So,
Sovi asks, what is your favorite?
go ahead.
What is your favorite part of fall weather? I'll let you guys go first.
So, because I live in the beautiful state of North Carolina, it is the leaves changing, especially because I'm not that far from the mountains. Oh, there's nothing better than walking out and you see all those beautiful different colors on those trees.
That is cool.
Best time of the year.
I can appreciate that. Well, you know, we live in Massachusetts, so that's the same deal. We get all the leaves changing looks really cool. But my favorite part about fall weather is like being able to like be a little athletic outside, like do some yard work. I mean, paintball for me, but do something. I'll say yard work, whatever, right? And like not immediately be drenched in sweat. Like if it's because it's like 58 degrees and it's like you could have your hoodie on, but then you like start moving around, you can take it off and be comfortable in a t-shirt, you know, and then it's like you can go exert yourself and you're not like disgusting after, you know what I mean? Like if you do that on a summer day, which I do prefer for the record, but the temperature change is nice in the fall because I'm a hoodie kind of guy, so like I like wearing a hoodie, but I usually do just around my apartment when I have the temperature controlled properly. But like, so in the fall, like lends itself to that, you know, sweater weather or whatever you want to call it.
What's my favorite part of the fall weather is that my wife is happy.
Okay. Sophie also asks, Halloween or Thanksgiving? Which holiday?
Thanksgiving.
I am not a Halloween guy.
Like Thanksgiving is the greatest holiday ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like spooky shit and I'm allergic to chocolate. So Halloween is like anti-Nick.
Yeah, well, the reason why I love Thanksgiving is because there's no there's no requirement to buy somebody a present. 1, 2, everybody, I get to cook, and I get to cook. I drink a beer at 9:00 in the morning. Nobody's judging me that I'm drinking a beer at 9:00 in the morning. I'm cooking the turkey, lamb, and I'm cooking a feast. And I tell everybody, you want to come over? Come over. You don't? I don't care. I'm cooking the same amount of food whether you're there or not.
Right. The only thing that changes is the leftover amount.
And the second greatest holiday is the next day, called Black fucking Friday.
I just requested Black Friday off, actually.
Oh, well done. But you're still not going to come with us because you'll come up with a ridiculous reason why. Oh, I can't go.
We'll see. Well, no, it's like, hey,
I don't want to have fun.
I don't have anything to buy. If I don't have anything to buy, I'm not going to go.
It's not about buying.
I do. Yes, it is.
No.
It's hard to justify like the real Black Friday, like get in line at 8:00 at night for the sort of at midnight.
No. You don't need to go there for that. You go for the chaos that ensues.
Well, right. I've done it. Marcus goes every year.
Not doing it yourself. It's watching the crazy people. When you're outside of it and you're not in there, you watch the crazies.
You know what? You're right. This year, maybe I do have to buy something this year.
I have something to buy. Go ahead. You first.
Well, I don't think you need Black Friday to buy an engagement ring.
No. Like, come on.
I knew that's where that was going.
It is. That was great. I can't even. There's no rebuttal. That was awesome.
No.
It is something for TK427 though. It's like she has like I don't even know, 32-inch TV in her bedroom hanging above and I'm like, and it doesn't even. Like, it's got like component on the back input.
That's why. Like,
I'm like,
dude,
okay. I'm like, you need a 55 in here. And she's like, 55, and I'm like, I have a 65 in my bedroom. Like, come on, step your game up. She's like, that wouldn't even fit. I'm like, it'll fit.
What was I gonna say? That's the perfect. That's the perfect Black Friday shopping thing,
right?
Even if it's like the same deal online, because Rhaiu's got the idea. Maybe this year I won't go crazy, but most times, because of kids, I do get some really fucking awesome deals.
Yeah, and like I got a great Black Friday deal. Speaking of which, that 65-inch TV, smart TV, mind you, I got for $200.
Right.
But I bought it on Wednesday instead of Friday, but it was a Black Friday deal. So I still do the shopping. I just didn't go,
well, but
lose
that's
sleep
the thing
Friday night over it,
Is that, that's the thing now is that Black Friday is the entire week.
Right.
Way before, it's before Thanksgiving. So you can do all your shopping beforehand. And if you hold out until Monday, you got the Cyber Monday deal. So for TK427 here, who's probably going to bring up the Amazon bill, and Marcus's wife is going to bring up the Amazon bill.
Right.
Like all that shopping that happens there. But if you go just for the chaos and the crazies, just pull up a lawn chair. It's like you're tailgating, especially in a Patriots game, because the game ain't any good. So you go tailgate.
Oh boy, here we go. Marcus stirs the pot. No, I'm with you. Watching would be cool. All right. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Sophie has another question. Carved pumpkins. Do you save and roast the seeds? I do not, but I know many people do. It's too much effort.
No.
Your bang for your buck is bad on that one. It's a lot of effort.
Like, actually, I shouldn't say that. We have done it.
Right.
Because of the kids. Like, I've done it because the kids, enjoy it and they think it's cool, but we all eat one and we're like, all right, this is not as good as sunflower seeds.
Right. And then you're over it. Let's see. Sophie also asked, if you make them just for the night, do you then salvage the pumpkin? Oh, so no, we do not. I didn't realize that had to do with the previous question. All right, last question from Oh, no, that's not true. Another question from Sophie. Favorite fall treat, like candied or caramel apples, different pies, etc.
Candy corn.
Candy corn?
Candy corn.
Oh, boy.
No, I do agree with you. Candy corn with peanuts, you mix it all together.
There you go.
Great. Yep.
It's fantastic. You tell
fantastic.
me what other time of the year you eat candy corn.
I don't ever eat candy corn. That's
depressing.
That's the point.
That's actually depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing.
It's gross. There are very few things in the world that I actually don't like to eat, and raw carrots and candy corn are the two.
You know what Nick does love in the fall?
What?
Giant cock.
Yes. I'm a big chicken guy.
How do you not like? That's like the most un-American thing you could ever say. I don't like candy corn,
Dude.
Dude,
There's so many better candies.
Hey guys,
like, why do I got to eat the wax? Like the vaguely artificial sweetener flavored wax chunks of like whatever the hell it's supposed to be.
I got nothing.
Because it's the one time of the year that it's there. I have never. I go into any grocery store. I bet you do not see candy corn until you hit November.
Well,
candy corn is there.
I'm not arguing that it's a fall thing. I'm just shocked that it's your
before
favorite
that.
kind of thing.
It's like October.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It
does. I skipped over Halloween.
You know what I mean, though? Like, it's not.
Okay, so what's your favorite fall treat then? Cocktail sandwich.
Yes. No, I make a great pecan pie myself. I actually legit do like a pumpkin latte, pumpkin spice latte, whatever you want to call it. Pumpkin bread is fantastic for fall treats. I mean, if we're talking about all of fall, like my favorite thing, probably one of my top 3 favorite foods ever is my family's stuffing recipe for Thanksgiving. Because it's like a pound of ground pork, a pound of ground beef, like 4 sticks of butter, like 4, I don't even know, 2 or 3 of the.
You're just giving your family's recipe out.
I don't know. That's not the real recipe, but that's like the shtick. Is it's a lot of meats in there.
It's amazing.
Marcus has had it.
What do you mean?
Like
we
a different
make
thing.
it.
Oh yeah, you make
got
it with the
cheat
recipe.
code. Yes, I make it with the recipe because you can't not like there's stuffing and then there's that one.
Yeah, there's like I know everybody's family has like it's our stuffing recipe or whatever. Like this is different. This is like a whole different dish because there's so much meat and fat involved with the meats and butter that it's like you could eat that as like your primary protein for the meal. You don't even need the turkey, you know. But
okay, I had heard, I forgot where.
Wait,
some
what are you reading right
like
now? Is that the last question from Sovi?
No.
I like that sound effect so much.
I heard, I forgot where, that some people like their apple pie with a slice of cheddar or other cheese. Have you ever tried of that? No, that is fucking gross.
Yes,
put put ice cream, vanilla ice cream on that shit.
Yeah, not French vanilla bean.
So I agree with the vanilla bean.
Golden
the slice
vanilla.
of cheddar.
No, that's French vanilla. I'm out.
The slice of cheddar is really good.
On apple pie?
So it's not on apple pie. You have a side of it. So the idea is that it's sweet and savory. So like if you take like for example, like you said, you take your banana bread, you put the egg on top of it, it's really good. It's a slice of cheddar. It's the sharp cheddar with the sweetness of the apple pie. Oh, it's so good.
Can I ask you a question?
I can wrap my brain around it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to do that. Go ahead.
How big is your belt buckle when you're eating that?
How big is your...
It's a pretty big size belt buckle.
Idiot. We down here. We gonna put some cheese on an apple pie.
You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
All right, hang on. Nick, you said you were going to Chicago, so the sweet is savory.
Yeah.
When you go to Garrett's Popcorn, and you get the Chicago style popcorn. It is cheddar popcorn.
Oh, I've had that.
And caramel popcorn mixed together.
That is
it's
good.
Sweet and savory. It's the same thing with the apple pie and the slice of cheddar.
I get it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to do it. Sophie has some obscure questions. How many ships were on either side at the Battle of Thermopylae? I think they mean Thermopylae, potentially. But I had absolutely nothing about that, so I'm going to give it a quick Google. Give it a goog, as Mark Norman would say.
I have no idea.
Battle of
Thermopylae. P-L-A-E. P-Y-L-A. Modern scholars estimate that Xerxes crossed the Hellespont with approximately 360,000 soldiers and a navy of 700 to 800 ships, reaching Greece in 480 BC. So the Spartans didn't have any ships. They were holding the pass on foot. But anywho, as in that's the battle from the movie 300.
Okay.
Oh,
unless there's a World War like one battle of Thermopylae, but I don't think
And
that's something
just
else.
for the record, I have asked for these obscure questions.
Yes.
Sovi asks, why is the government set up for only 2 political parties? What about a tiebreaker?
Because corruption, that's why.
How many licks does it actually take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 212.
Alrighty. Moving right along, our next set of questions is from Doritos. The first one is, why do you have a tinfoil hat made of aluminum foil? That's a great question.
So the reason why my tinfoil hats are all aluminum foil, because I can't really afford to buy anything else that's like soft metal. So aluminum foil is very readily available, and it protects me from all the direct energy weapons that may come down and shoot me.
Alrighty, also from Doritos. Why did Plato make up the story of Atlantis? Because he wanted to be famous. What?
That fucking sound.
You're
fucking obsessed with
it's
it.
fantastic. It's like the bullet point at the beginning of each question. It's like, boom, here it is.
Yeah, but I feel so bad for the community. They're going to fucking hate you for this.
No way. This is awesome. It's like the news. It's like, all right. In sports.
Yeah, they do that transition every 2 to 3 hours. You're just 5 minute whack. Whack. Whack.
This next question's a home run. What is your favorite color for trees to turn in autumn?
Oh, the bright yellow.
I'll go with the bright orange.
I'm going to go with red. Last question from Doritos. Why is the B silent in the word comb?
Because if you take the B off, it's going to say come. I mean, comb. Oh my God. All right, we're gonna. Oh my God, we're gonna edit that.
We're not editing that one out.
We're doing it live. All right. And we got another set of questions from Sovi. The first one asks, why do you park in a driveway but drive on a parkway?
That's really a good question.
Because English sucks. That's why.
I don't know. I'd consider the parkway more of a driveway during rush hour.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was rough.
Sophie asks, why do plants in Florida seem to have 2 colors, green and dead? Because it's hotter than fucking hell's asshole.
Right. Last question from Sovi for now, anyways, asks, is there one game that you each can agree to play for a team stream or whatever it's called on Twitch or Kick for a community event sometime? Not soon, LOL. And by each, I mean, of course, the host, the community manager, and any other positions like the overseer of the Nerds Community Discord that the staff has for the community, LOL. Yeah, I would. I can foresee us doing that. I think we've talked about it a few times for different games.
That would be a lot of fun, actually. I'm imagining like Among Us style stuff.
Yeah, Among Us would be fun.
Like that'd be a lot of fun. Just a lot of people in the Discord having a good time.
Agreed. Marcus, thoughts?
Yes. It's just is really hard because Twitch doesn't like you if you're not a partner, and I don't know if Kick has like a squad stream thing because you can't really like the squad streams aren't really like quality. You know what I mean? Like you can get a multi-stream link, but it's not directly through Twitch, so it's like a funky kind of like overlay. You know what I mean? And you can't chat in one chat. It's like you see, like, let's say me and Nick are streaming. You can chat in his chat or my chat.
Well, the only thing I would counter with that is what if you did it in the Discord instead? Because you can stream in Discord and you can make it to where the moderation and everything, so where there is only one chat in that.
But isn't Discord limited to 25?
I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But that would be
no. So you can. It's limited to 25 viewers unless people buy Nitro and they boost your server. So right now, I think our server is boosted twice by me, just because I have Nitro and we can use like animated emotes. But like if more people had Discord Nitro, which it's $100 a year. Is it worth it? I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, it is. If I stream now on Discord, my stream is 1080p, where if you stream on Discord, it's 720p.
Yeah.
Well,
if you're doing that a lot, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me back up. So what if everybody was in a Discord call and you shared your screen, but the screen that you shared was just that game, and then at that point you're not limited to it.
Well, no, you're still limited to 25 people in that voice chat.
Oh,
unless your server's boosted.
Okay.
That's Discord's free. They're stealing all your information, but like you got to pay for that service if you want more.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think what that would probably look like is like you streaming it, and then like the Discord voice chat is just whoever's playing the game. So it'd be like this the nerds community staff people or whoever's playing it. Right. If it's Among Us, for example, like in the Discord would be like, me, Marcus, Atrax, Mr. Feta, Rhaiu, and whomever else is playing. But then, where the community engages would be like on Twitch or Kick or whatever the streaming service is.
Sure. Yeah. These questions are for me, so I'm going to ask them. I asked Nick, do you find it hard to make time for streaming now that TK427 runs your life?
No, I make it. What makes finding time for streaming difficult is not TK427. For the record, TK427 does not limit anything that I do. This is just a running gag for Marcus, and it's funny, and I approve. But what screws up my streaming schedule is like me not having a real game to stream, and then like I don't know, life stuff happens. What the hell happened last Monday? I don't remember. Well, last Monday I wasn't home, so I just screwed up and didn't announce that one. I knew I wasn't going to be home. I went to actually a fall themed party, but then another time I had like Vertigo stuff going on, and then something else happened. But
this episode is brought to you by Vertigo.
That was great.
Nick, saying that, I think you're right. So it's your MO. So you finish a game, you can't start an RPG as soon as you finish one.
Yeah.
Because when you're into it, you like stream every week because you want to play it. But then when you get into that rut of like 4 weeks of Call of Duty,
yeah, it's like
you tend to like, you're like, I don't really want to, but you're
right.
not ready to start another game.
Right.
It's kind of your MO. Like Starfield, I hope takes a while.
Oh yeah. No, it's like hundreds of hours.
Right.
But
all right.
Next question is for Rhaiu, I believe, right?
Rhaiu. Yep. Oh my god. What are your biggest challenges when trying to game now that you have a family?
My wife doesn't let me anymore. No, I'm kidding. No, she wanted me to say that one. No, honestly, it's just more of like a personal thing, making sure I keep it balanced. Because it's like you come home after working and everything. It's like the last thing you want to do is more work, especially when you have a newborn. It's like your job, your work never ends when you come home. So just keeping it balanced, making sure that the gaming stays in its place, but also, making sure that the family is the priority, balancing it with my wife, and just making sure that each of us has our self time. Like if I'm playing games, or she's, she loves knitting. She loves playing Animal Crossing, which I'm hoping that I can get her into Go-Go Town. She loves the stream, so she's excited for when that comes out.
Does she have a PC?
She does. Over here.
Oh, shit. I can ask her if she wants a playtest code. She can play it right now.
I will ask her.
Boom.
Question for all of us. Answer this. Jedi, Gray Jedi, Dark Jedi, or Sith?
Regarding what? Like, what would I be?
No, I'm just asking. Jedi, gray Jedi, dark Jedi, or Sith?
Well, two of those options aren't a thing.
Sure they are.
Gray
Yeah,
Jedi
like
and dark
what?
Jedi are not things.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Those are not real. Let me pull up the Freddie Prinze Jr. interview.
Qui-Gon Jinn was a gray Jedi, just for the record.
And what do you
There's
think?
no such thing.
What do you think the two people in Ahsoka are? What is it?
Well, yeah, but then they're not a Jedi.
No.
Wait, what do you mean?
Those people in Ahsoka straight up said we're not Jedi.
But they're dark Jedi. They're not Sith, though.
Yes, they're not Sith and they're not Jedi. There's something in between.
That's a dark Jedi.
No. The title's just wrong.
The purpose of Jedi was just to indicate being Force sensitive. It wasn't that you were or weren't.
Like
part
gray
of good
is
or bad.
like you're more light than dark, and dark Jedi is you're more Sith than light. But you're still in the middle. You're not full Sith. Like full Sith is like, Mr. Bane.
Like, I look at a gray Jedi, and there's actually, believe it or not, there is a gray Jedi code. Like, there is the Jedi code, there is the Sith code, there is a gray Jedi code.
Yeah, I look at Mace Windu as a gray Jedi.
Very much so, because his fighting style was a part of the dark, was a dark side fighting style. So he was not all good, but he was not all
Qui-Gon
bad.
Jinn's style is not a Sith Jedi form.
No, Mace Windu.
Oh,
We said Mace
Windu. I said Qui-Gon Jinn because Qui-Gon did not conform to the normality of the quote-unquote Jedi. He followed the Force as the Force was. That's why he went against the Council's wishes to continue to train Anakin, or wanting to continue to train Anakin.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes him a dark or gray Jedi.
Yeah, but
it just means he just didn't conform. Like Dooku didn't either for a while,
But Dooku went
because
dark
Dooku,
Jedi.
Well,
because Dooku went
and he became a Sith.
He became a Sith, but he was a dark Jedi because he was more in tune with, as far as instead of maintaining peace, his mindset was that you need to be better at combat instead of peace. So that way,
did you watch that show, Tales of the Jedi? Good. That dude was he was a terrorist.
That's what shifted him from a Jedi, whereas believing in peace and things like that, and keeping
but he was
the
still
peace,
a Jedi, and he was just going dark.
He was dark.
See, that's not if you're going dark, then you're not like a Jedi. You know what I mean? I don't know, like that.
But you're not.
It's the Jedi part is the extreme light side only, like comes in the whole dogma of like the Jedi. You know what I mean? So like to call someone a gray or dark Jedi, it's like saying it's like an oxymoron. You know what I mean? The whole point of Jedi is like there is no dark side. Like you're only a light side, and if you fall to the dark side or something, you're like, okay, I get it, but you're a different thing if you're doing that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, the counter to that would be the fact that with, again, I use Qui-Gon Jinn because he's one of the more common ones that people know. Is the fact that Qui-Gon was teaching the same with Obi-Wan is not abstinence from the dark side as Yoda was preaching. It was the fact that you need to recognize that the dark side exists. You need to understand that the Force is a thing. It has a good and a bad,
right.
And it is your job to navigate as far as the good and the bad of that.
Right. Yeah.
As long as it is the will of the Force. But that's where the fall is.
Right. Conceptually, I'm totally with you. I'm not disputing that people, use both. And like, frankly, I think that's the much more pragmatic way to look at things. And I agree with that point of view. I think I've talked about, I think I would end up being a mostly dark side user. And I've talked about that a bunch of times anyway. So I think it's a lot more pragmatic. But my point is not that like there's a flaw with them existing or something like that. I'm just saying the title is flawed. That's
okay,
all.
So let me rephrase the question because like Jedi.
my problem is with the title.
Wait. Jedi, gray Force user, dark Force user, or Sith?
Perfect. Thank you.
Like, what the fuck? It's the dumbest shit ever. Like, sometimes, Nick, I'm blown away by your stupidity, and I love every minute of it.
Certain things are important to me, okay? After all that, Sith.
Gray Jedi, 100%.
That's not true. I actually would not be Sith. I would be a dark side Force user, however you want to call that, but not adhere to the strict Sith code. Because I think you can use the dark side of the Force without like getting completely consumed by it and be an evil motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I would be gray because I lean to be more good, but like I can't shut my mouth when there's stupidity going on.
Right. Like you let the emotions come out, you know? Like
yeah,
when it's,
like I can't shut my mouth.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. When I play paintball, I like get very aggressive and there's a lot of anger in my brain that's not there in every other aspect of my life. So like, but that's the only really like combat thing. And like sports, I would get that way too. But like, I feel like those negative emotions when you're channeling them into something athletic can be very useful. So I think the dark side would be good for that. We have another question from Sobe, specifically for me. Marcus, what does it say?
I'm removing that from the soundboard. You have previously stated that you were doing stuff with the Legion. Do you mean the 501st, or you both you and TK427 in the Legion? Thank you, Sylvie. The fact that now the community is calling her TK427 and it's past me, it is the quality of life improvement that I needed.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree. This is very funny. No, Star Wars Legion is a tabletop game. Yeah, we're not in the same Legion. She goes to drill on Saturdays, I go on Sundays.
Atrax is back and he says, Nick, what is your favorite drill your Imperial officer makes you do?
So my favorite drill is the anti-Jedi mind trick drill, where we just have to say over and over, these are the droids I'm looking for. These are the droids I'm looking for. These are the droids I'm looking for. And it never works because it's always, these are not the droids I'm looking for. And you get tricked, but you try. And I really like that. It gives me hope, you know, that someday I'll get it. Anyways, Atrax's question for Marcus. Would you rather eat a chicken-flavored pineapple or a waffle-flavored pineapple? So chicken would be like savory.
Yeah, but no. It means the pineapple would taste like chicken.
I know.
Or a waffle that tastes like pineapple.
No. Pineapple I would do the waffle. Waffle-flavored pineapple. So the pineapple...
Yeah, waffle... Oh, I would do that because then I could put syrup on it.
No. It's not a waffle. In both cases, you're eating a pineapple. But the pineapple is either chicken-flavored or waffle-flavored. Waffle-flavored pineapple. I agree. I feel like that goes together more. All right. Atrax's last question and last question for Working Class Questions is for Rhaiu. What is your trick, Rhaiu, to keeping the people's tank from gathering rust?
Oh man, I wish I had more context to that question. There's so much that's involved in that. It's always remembering that every March 16th there's going to be a beer slam. 100%.
All right. Let's go. Well, that concludes Working Class Questions. And that's the other transition soundbite we have. I don't like that one as much. Rhaiu, thanks for coming on the show. This was awesome.
Thank you guys for having me.
That's a shitty way to end the show.
Well, step up and say something. All right. Anyways, Rhaiu, where can people find you?
In the Working Class Nerds Discord.
Just search for the Overseer. And make sure he's doing his fucking job.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of Working Class Nerds.